Number one, I want to do some recognition for our team today. Okay, this is just in the last week. I just want to share my screen here, and let's get into it over here. Okay, so of course our team's name, we are with World Financial Group. Our team's name is Educate Financial. Okay, we are in the financial education business. Very, very important. So today is our skill set training. Now, I want to mention something, and I want you to understand this as well. Financial education is crucial, okay? And I want to go over a little bit about why that is. Number one, I would like you to write this down. Banks profit when you are in debt. Okay, so the more debt you have, whether it's a mortgage or a credit card or a line of credit, the bank will profit in that situation. Very important to understand. Corporations profit when you spend. Okay, that's why they advertise. They don't want you to save money, they want you to spend it. Okay, that's when corporations profit. Governments profit when you're an employee. You pay the most amount of tax when you're an employee. So that's very, very important to understand as well. And of course, you profit when you're financially educated. Okay, that's what we do. We financially educate families. We help them understand how money works. So, those of you who are licensed, you're licensed to do this, and you get compensated to do it very well. Okay, so those of you who are not licensed yet, make sure to get your license. Now, I want you to understand there's a lot of things that you can do outside. There are some businesses you can open. There's a lot of things that you can do. Why do this business? Right? Why did my father start in this industry 20 years ago? What did I see that I wanted to stick in this industry? Right? When I had other options as well, why did I stay with WFG? What did I see? Now, I want you to understand these things. Maybe you can write them down as well. Okay. Number one, I want you to understand the startup cost. Okay. When you start a regular business, whether it's a restaurant or whatever it might be, you're spending upwards of maybe $100,000 cash to open the location, to buy the insurance, to do hire the employees. A regular business, you have to invest a lot upfront. In our business, how much is it? 150 bucks. And now in our team, moving forward, anyone that starts the license, if they pass their 4 modules within the first 4 weeks, in their first month, we will reimburse them the cost of the license. That's huge. We will reimburse them if they pass that within the first month. So there's a lot of people out there that want to earn extra income. We will reimburse them for that. Okay. There's a lot of fixed expenses with a regular business. In our business, it's a very, very low cost. Okay. In a regular business, you got to pay your employees, whether you make money or you don't. I know there's a lot of business owners, they're not making anything, but they still have to pay their employees. Very important. Here, you don't have employees. You have team members, okay? And of course, compensation here, I mean, if you're spending $100,000 or $200,000 to start the business, it's going to take you 3, 4, 5 years to even break even, to turn a profit. In this business, you can make profit right away, right? Within the first 2 to 3 months. Flexibility. You know what? You don't run the business runs you. If you own a restaurant, you got to open it at a certain time. In this business, if Juliana wants to go to California, she can, right? She doesn't have to tell me. She can take off tomorrow, right? So very, very flexible business. And of course, the demand is huge, okay? You know, if you have a restaurant, you're competing with Cactus Club. You're competing with McDonald's. You're competing with a lot of competition. In this business, who's your competition? The banks don't do financial education. Universities don't do financial education, and 95% of Canadians have no financial plan. That's a huge demand. And mentorship. I will tell you this, if you open a business outside and you go to someone who's your competitor, they will never help you. They will never help you. In this business, you can go to your mentor and ask them, what should I do? In fact, the more money you make, the more they will make. They will gladly help you and guide you. Okay? So, very, very important. Understand why you should take this seriously, why you should put your time and effort in. And I want to ask you, if you're in this business, how many times do you show up to the office? My minimum is, if you're in this business with me, 2 to 3 times you should be in the office a week, minimum, at least for an hour. That's my suggestion. Okay. Now let's talk about how we can plan for children. Financially, how do we do financial planning for children? Everybody knows there's an RESP. Okay. The government will give you a grant of 20% up to $500 a year for the child's education. Okay. So that's, if you put in $100, the government will put in $20 from themselves. And now you have $120 for the child's education. Okay. So here's the numbers. Here's the math. Okay. $100, you're going to get $20 from the government. There's $120. Okay. If you want to max this benefit out, the family should put in $200. That's going to equate to about $500 a year. So you maxed out the benefit. Okay. So $200 a month will max out your RESP. Now, here's an example. Okay. This is an example for a 1-year-old putting in $200 a month. And we run this as conservative. Obviously, it's a child's education at 4%. Okay. In 18 years, this child will have $68,000 for their education. They want to go to university, they can. They want to go to college, they can. Okay. Here's how it breaks down. Out of their pocket, they will have put in $39,000. The government would have given $8,000 in grants, and the interest growth on this money would be around $20,000. Okay, this is the RESP. All right. Now, this can only be used for the child's education. Very important to understand. And the withdrawals are taxable. They are taxable in the child's hands. Okay, so you do pay tax on this. It just becomes the child's income at that age, 18 or 19, whatever age they might be. Okay, now if the child decides to go to school, if they're full time, they can withdraw up to $8,000 the first 13 weeks. If they are part time, it's $4,000. Okay, very, very important. If they decide not to go to school, the grants will go back to the government. Very important to understand. Okay, some kids these days they don't go to school. They want to go to Andrew Tate's University. Okay, that's not going to qualify. All right. So what else can a parent do for the child's education? Remember this. There are not many plans that parents can open for a child. They cannot have a TFSA. They cannot have a RRSP. They cannot have a FHSA. Okay. What else can we do for that child? Very important to understand. Here's another idea, and here's another plan that these parents can open. It's called a Child's Universal Life Account. And in this, there's a couple of benefits. They have life insurance along with critical illness protection, along with investments, all in one account. Okay. This is the same example. It's a 1-year-old, $200 a month, and now we run this at 6%. Here's what it looks like. From day one, the child has a life insurance benefit of $200,000. They have a critical illness benefit of $50,000. Okay, the cash value can be used for anything. It's not restricted to RESP. And the tax-free withdrawals for this child. Remember, in a UL, in your cash value, whatever's under the ACB is tax-free. Okay, so very, very important to understand as well. Now, in 18 years, instead of 68,000, they have 62,000 along with $400,000 of life insurance benefit. Okay, now they have an option. They don't have to touch this money. This money can continue to grow. Have a look at this. At 35 years old, they have $250,000 cash value. I want you to imagine, those of you who are older than 35, imagine when you turn 35, your parents gave you a gift of $250,000. How would you feel? Pretty good, right? And $870,000 of life insurance. And at age 65, they have $1.6 million for their retirement and $2.2 million of life insurance. You basically built the child's future. Now, here's the great thing. You don't have to pick and choose between these plans. You can also have a RESP at the same time. You can have a UL account for the child as well. Both of these plans you can have. Okay, so very, very important. A lot of people, they get the child tax benefit. Juliana is going to talk a little bit about that. Use it for the child. Very, very important to understand as well. Okay, now other things I want to really cover and I want to talk about before I hand it off to Juliana. Think about winning in your life. Okay, there's a video I watched. No one's gonna come and save you. No one. No one wakes up one day and thinks about you. They're thinking about themselves. So when you wake up, think about winning in your life. If you don't, nobody else is going to. And I want to cover a couple of different things. Skills require repetition. Okay? You want to become skilled in this business? You gotta go through repetition. Oftentimes, many times I have people come up to me and they say, Parm, you're so good at presenting. How? I've failed more times than you've even tried. That's repetition. That's how you build your skill set. Okay, very, very important. Number two, operate your business out of your imagination, not your memory. Okay, oftentimes a lot of people, they only go and build their business through their memory. Memory is the past. It's in the past, right? April started. I told myself I'm going to have the best month personal of my career. And it's already on track. The month is not even done. I've submitted over 1,000 into savings. That's almost 20,000 points personal. Okay. So operate out of your imagination. You can flip your business just like this. Vision of the future. Now, another thing I want to mention here, you don't go to the next market. You grow to the next market. Okay. So you practice in your current market. If your market is young, it's okay. You're going to get good in your young market. If your market doesn't have a lot of money, it's okay. You're going to get good in that market and then you grow to the next market. You encounter business owners, you get into a wealthier market, you grow to that market. You don't just one day wake up and boom, you're in a different market. Very important. Another thing, enjoy the journey of growth. Okay, enjoy your journey. That's a very important thing. There are people, they're happy when they're poor and they're happy when they're rich. And then there are people, they're so miserable when they're poor, and even when they get rich, they're still miserable. It comes from inside. Enjoy your journey, right? Oftentimes, I meet a lot of people that became successful in WFG, and many times they say, the happiest times in my career is not when I'm making $1 million a year. It was when I was growing to $1 million a year, when I was fighting, when I was getting up early, when I was doing appointments, when I was going through rejection and going through appointments. So very important. All of you on this call are on a journey. You're on a journey of growth. You're going to grow personally. Your income is going to grow. Your business is going to grow. We all grow through this journey. Okay. Another thing I want to share, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm grateful I'm not where I used to be. Okay? Appreciate how far you've come. All of you have grown. All of you have moved forward. Okay? So be grateful for where you are today. Be thankful for where you are. Okay? Now, another thing I wanna mention here, we have a big cause. There's a lot of people that need this kind of financial education. Number two, we have the best platform. Okay. We work with many companies. We are with the biggest company in Canada. World Financial Group in Canada right now has around 40,000 licenses in Canada alone. Massive company. Okay. Actually, is it 40? Maybe it's 20. I don't know. 20 or 40. Still a lot. Okay. We have a machine, building machine. We have a simple presentation. And of course, we are looking for leaders. Are you a leader? Okay, very important. I know Fardoon saw the presentation today, saw the application, and Fardoon, sooner or later, you're going to be doing it all yourself. Okay, very important. Now, I want to, before I hand it off to Juliana, this is my favorite quote of my entire career. Okay, every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up. It knows it must run faster than the fastest lion or it will be killed. Every morning, a lion wakes up. It knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle or it will starve to death. It doesn't matter whether you're a lion or you're a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you'd better be running. Are you running? In your business, are you getting your license? Okay. Are you going out there and are you working? Very important. So I want to hand it off to Juliana. I think Juliana is going to take charge and she's going to give you a couple of questions that you can start a conversation about a child's planning. So I want you to write these questions down. They are crucial. So Juliana, floor is yours. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. That's my favorite topic, especially about talking a child plans. And as me being a parent, I actually consider that's really important topic to bring up when you sit down with families. And some of the question that you can ask, and it's quite easy, guys, if you think about and if you have certain questions in your mind to remember uh, how can I person how can I make this person to me, for example, not each individual plans, but one thing I want to tell you that every parents that here in Canada especially, they came here for the children future, correct? So that means they want to build a child future. Do you think they have idea how they're going to do that? No, they don't have idea. How do I know? Because I've been there before. So I didn't know many options that are available for my child as well until he turned 14. That time only the bank recommended our ESP and explained me the registered education saving plan will give the government will give some money and so on, and my child money will grow in 3% or so on. So I didn't know any other options, by the way. But when I entered a company, I understood there's other better plan exists for the child. And it didn't mean that I have to reject another account or ESP. What that meant, there was more option for me as a parent available for my child. And I took advantage of that. So when you see a family or you're talking to someone, first things ask them, first questions you can ask, do you receive a child tax benefit? The one who have a child under 18 of age or under age of 7 or so on, they probably receiving about $600 roughly, 500 depend on the income a month. So do you receive a child tax benefit? First questions. Every parent will say yes. Okay. Second, do you have a plan for your child education or child retirement? So that's next question you can ask. Do you have a plan for your child education or retirement plan for your child? Third question you can ask, what kind of account do you have? RESP or Child Universal Life? So every parents probably heard about RESP, but not many parents heard about Child Universal Life plan, right? Question number 4. What type of benefit your child receiving in that account? Remember, there's a lot of benefit and flexibility in Universal Life that not available in RESP. So question number 5. Can your child have a tax-free retirement benefit? And question number 6. Does your child plan includes the wealth transfer strategy to the next generation with the tax-free option? Wealth transfer strategy to the next generation with the tax-free option. So the key words: wealth strategy, tax-free benefit, education plan, retirement plan. That account includes all of these features. Compare our ESP that does not. Remember, RSP lasts till age of 18. The Universal Life plan for child, it lasts until 100 and can be transferred to the next generation. So asking those questions, it will bring awareness to the parent, and they will ask you more details and more information, of course. And you can actually say, you know what, I'm not an expert. I just going through practice, for example, if you knew one, but my manager know all of these accounts, and I took advantage of that account for my child. If you have a child and if you've done a plan, or my manager actually doing all these plans for many other families, I can pass the phone number of my senior manager, and they can actually sit down with you and show you those plans. You should take advantage. By the way, the parents that doesn't have a special, so what other accounts they gonna open? So if they planning to stay here in Canada in next maybe 3 years or so on to receive PR, these 3 years they can actually have a universal child universal plan, and they can start with that account. And that's where actually my main market coming up now, because every parent immigrants coming here, they heard about RSP, but they don't know eligibility to get to that plan, right? And if I sit down with them and say, guess what? You can't open this account yet because child should have a social insurance number, right? So again, but you can have a universal life child account. There's many benefit that you can benefit, that your child can benefit. And later on, we can open another account as well, if you will be eligible. So that's why
Awesome.
thinking and approaching client on those ways, it helps, because I close a lot of plans like that, and I know that parents can do so much for their child. And it doesn't mean that you should just, I always say, you know what, those two accounts are great, and my recommendation to have both, but where's more benefit you see for your child, and where's more flexibility, and let's open two accounts at the same time. Let's say $50 here and $100 here, or 100 and 100, because if a parent's receiving child tax benefit from CRA 500 or 600 a month, they don't have to put all this money. And by the way, another point, when you start from the child a universal child plan or RESP or so on, there is a rules of thumb, meaning that insurance company would not give a lot of coverage to the child, by the way. So you have to mention to the client that, by the way, we done your child plan, but you should have a plan as well. And reason why, because there's a lot of benefit, but you were the main breadwinner in the family. You the one who actually paying the bills and so on. You should have this plan too, right? And we can open the same plan for you as well when you're ready. So with that, I wanna go
All
back
right,
to you, Carl.
Ileana, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. One thing I want to mention to everybody is if you get good at these kind of plans, remember this. You get paid very well for this. One of these plans can pay you $1,500 to almost $2,000. Okay, so very, very important to understand. Yes, it benefits us as well, but it benefits that child a lot more than we will ever benefit. Okay, so sharing these kind of questions, and by the way, like Juliana mentioned, a lot of people, they do have RESPs. They don't even have an idea that they can have a plan like this for their child. And over my career, I've noticed that parents will do anything for their children. Right? Anything for their children. They will always put their children first. So, very important to ask these questions. We are in the financial industry. We are just educating people. Our job is to share with them. They will decide what they would like to do. Okay. And remember this, in many households, there's not one child, there's like three. Right. And sometimes in a Muslim household, sometimes there's 10 children. You never know. Right. So, a lot of benefit there. So, just a heads up, let's get to work. I will be in the office tomorrow by 12 o'clock. Okay, maybe a little bit later. But on Wednesday evening, tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we have our team training. Okay, 7 to 8 o'clock. Make sure everybody is here in the office. That's one thing I want to mention to you. If you want to win in this business, you got to be able to show up. It's just like the gym. If you get a gym membership and you never show up to the gym, you're not going to see any results. In this business, you got to be able to show up. You got to be able to share the financial education that we have, that people need, right? And that's how you're going to win. Get around winners. You're going to start winning as well. Okay. So I'm so excited. I'm so fired up for all of you to really grow your business. And I'm here to help you guys out. So reach out to me. If you're not here, reach out to me on Zoom. I can gladly quickly jump on Zoom with you and I can train you on any question you guys have. Okay. So my benefit is in if you win, that is crucial for me as well. Okay. So let's grow, let's win, and be optimistic. Okay. I know we're heading into a recession, but recession is the best time to grow our business. There's no recession in WFG. We grow the most. Okay. Look at real estate agents right now. Look at builders right now. Right? They're all free. So very important that in this business, take advantage of what's going on in the economy. Okay, a lot of people are looking for answers, and we have that. Okay, so that's it for tonight. I want you guys to make notes and make sure you show up. So good night, everybody. I will see you guys. Those of you who are local, tomorrow, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the office in the evening. Okay, good night, everybody.